give it a 10 seconds delay because YouTube stream will come out after 10 seconds.
Okay, should we start, Sandeep? So hello and welcome everybody to this inauguration session of the Vigyan Vidushi program. This is a program for first year MSc students in physics, first year women MSc students in physics. It will be more like a 3-week summer school. However, it has some unique features like some special lectures, mentoring sessions, career guidance, and so on and so forth. You will, of course, learn details about this program in this inauguration session. This program is being organized by Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, TIFR, and its center, Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, about both of which I'm sure you have heard a lot. It happens to be a very happy coincidence today, as it also happens to be the 75th birthday of TIFR. It was exactly on 1st June, 75 years ago that TIFR was established, and now it has, of course, as you know, has grown to becoming one of the premier science institutions, research institutions in India. We will hear about this sometime later. The celebrations for TIFR 75 are going to start from today, and this happens to be the first event in this. I said happy coincidence because, as you know, we had already earlier planned Vigyan Vidushi to start in the middle of June. However, because of the current situation, because of coronavirus and COVID-19, we decided to have it shifted online and make it start on 1st of June. And it's a very happy thing that it's going to start with the start of 75 years of TIFR. TIFR in the last 75 years has really grown. As you see here, it actually is in 4 main cities in India. It's in Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. And in each of these places, it has multiple centers. I will not talk to you much about TIFR because I think most of you are familiar with TIFR. And in fact, many of the students, as well as many of the people participating in this Zoom link, as well as over YouTube, most likely also know that, that TIFR has branches in these places. Many of our TIFR members from these centers are perhaps watching us on YouTube. What I would like you to also realize that not only are there people watching this session from these 4 centers, but here are the cities or towns from where the Vigyan Vidushi students come. So there are 51 students who are participating live in this Zoom session and will be a part of direct lectures. And they are denoted by the green dots here on the screen. On the other hand, you see all those orangish dots, and these are the students who are participating in all the lectures, and they will be participating over YouTube. So we have about 350 to 400 women students in MSc first year who will be part of this. So we hope that the reach of TIFR, therefore, does not stay restricted to the 4 locations in which it is located, but by this online version, we can actually influence young people in all parts of the country. Of what this inauguration session is going to be like. So this is, well, I'm Amol Dighe. I'm the convener of VV 2020, in case you did not know. And this part is already over. What we'll have after that is by 3 of the people who were at the back of the program and have encouraged it all throughout. One is, of course, Professor Sandeep Trivedi, who is director of TIFR. Then we have Professor K. Subramaniam, who is the center director of HBCSE. If this program were actually held in person, as was the original intention, it would have been held in the campus of HBCSE. And Professor Shubha Tole, who is the dean of our graduate school, whose ideas somehow inspired the starting of this program. So so all of these three will give their opening remarks after a while. And after that, we will go other two people, Vandana Nanal and Anvesh Majumdar. Both of them are academics in TIFR, and they will tell you about the concept of program as well as overview of what you're going to see in the next 3 weeks. So I will stop at this point of time, and I will ask Professor Sandeep Trivedi to give his opening remarks. Sandeep, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Dighe. I hope you can all hear me. Can you hear me? Well, Professor Dighe, Professor Nanal, Professor Anvesh Majumdar, Professor Subramaniam, Professor Tore, everyone who's worked so hard. I want to begin by acknowledging you all. But most of all, I want to begin by welcoming the dear students who join us from across India. That map was just so amazing, so heartening. All the way from Tezpur, close to where I was born, in the great state of Assam, to Rajkot in Gujarat, to Kerala and Himachal Pradesh. To all our dear students, I extend you a very warm welcome. I wish you were here with us in Mumbai today, but it doesn't matter, for you are here in our hearts. This program is for you. This program is a small attempt by us in TIFR to help expose the wonders of science, its great beauty to you all. You know, it has bothered me profoundly ever since I took over as director of TIFR that we don't have more gender equality in our students. Allow me to say, women, girls are at the forefronts of our university education. They do so well when it comes to the exams and the results. And yet somehow we don't find them adequately represented in our PhD programs. And many of us, many of our faculty who have worked so hard to make this program possible have been deeply troubled by this. We want to make it possible. There's something wrong, I would say, we are doing in institutions of higher learning. And this is a small attempt by TIFR to try and bring about a change. We are led in this also by our Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, which is such a unique institution in the TIFR umbrella on science education and various kinds of efforts tied to that to take us forward. I hope all the students, the 50 students who will join us and the many hundreds who will follow us on YouTube, I hope you enjoy yourselves. I hope you come away with an excitement for science and a commitment to pursue it. We are there to partner you in this journey, not only in this program, but in the future. And I look forward to personally welcoming you all to TIFR in the near future once this pandemic is behind us. So all the very best for a great time and for a brilliant future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. That was Professor Sandeep Trivedi, the director of TIFR. I would now request Professor K. Subramaniam, who is the center director of the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, to give his opening remarks. Professor Subramaniam.
Okay. Good morning to all the students and others who may be watching from our various institutions. Good morning to all my colleagues from TIFR and other centers. It's a great pleasure to welcome all the students on behalf of the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education. which is also a collaborating partner with TIFR in this very ambitious program. It's appropriate, I think, that the 75 years of TIFR set of events is being launched by this program, which is really unique and new for TIFR in more ways than one. It's new in terms of its goals, reaching out to women students in physics and bringing them into scientific careers, science-related careers. It's also new because of the modality which is being forced on us by the pandemic because of the online modality. And I think it's really future-oriented in these different ways. I also looked at the meticulous planning that the organizers have put in preparing the program, and I'm sure that it's going to be a wonderful program for all of you. Of course, you all know quite a lot about TIFR, but perhaps not many people know about the Homi Bhabha Center. So I thought that I'll take a couple of minutes saying something about the Homi Bhabha Center. If things were normal, you would have visited the Homi Bhabha Center campus, but you're not here, which is a bit unfortunate. But like Professor Trivedi said, you're very much with us and we are with you. And here is a picture of the building. That's what I can show you. The main building, the old building where Homi Bhabha Center worked from is actually a municipal school where it worked for about 20 years. And I just wanted to mention that as TIFR turns 75, Homi Bhabha Center turns 46. It's not the same age as TIFR, but it's not that young either. These are the various kinds of activities that we do. We are very well known for the Olympiad program, but we do a lot of education research in science, technology, and mathematics education. We work a lot with teachers and teacher educators. We do training programs for them, conduct a number of workshops. We work with students at all levels, from primary school to undergraduate students. And for the first time, I believe for perhaps not very often in the future, but maybe not the first time, that we're working with master's students along with TIFR. And we contribute to science communication, to shaping policy in education, and so on. These are just to give you a flavor of the work that goes on at HBCSE. We do student nurture. The best known aspect of that is the Olympiad program, in which we prepare teams to represent India, select them and train them. And then they've done wonders at the International Olympiads and brought a lot of credit to the country by winning many, many medals. We do teacher orientation programs through the year. It's about 75 now. I think it's close to 100 workshops a year, sometimes even more. And a large number of teachers participate, more than 1,000 every year. We develop a lot of learning materials, curriculum materials for school mainly, and at both elementary, secondary, as well as senior secondary levels. We also develop some popular science materials in the history of science. And there's a very important exhibition in the center on gender and science. And I believe you'll hear more about it perhaps this evening. And so my colleague and the Dean of the Homi Bhabha Center, Professor Subrat Chunawala, will be talking to you about that and about the sort of gender and science aspects and the exhibition itself. We also do research in science and mathematics education. We have a PhD program in case any of you are interested in education. That's the kind of turn you would like in your careers. Please do look at it, Homi Bhabha Center. It's a very interdisciplinary research program which brings both science and social science and the humanities together. And it's quite a vibrant program. And so thank you. That's all I wanted to say. I wish you all the very best. And I'm sure that you'll have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. So next, we are going to have Professor Shubha Tole, who is the Dean of Graduate Studies in TIFR, and some of her ideas were instrumental in actually having us do this program and having us do this program even in spite of the pandemic that's going around us. So I would like to request her to say a few words. Shubha, please.
Thank you, Amol. And a heartfelt thanks to the organizers of this program for making it happen, because I've seen it getting shaped over numerous discussions, and it's been absolutely inspiring. But now I'd like to really address the students who have joined us. I'm sure all of you are excited to be here. Certainly hope you are. Maybe some of you are feeling maybe lucky. Hey, I got in, because that's sort of a thing when you're a student to get selected for opportunities. But you know what? We're lucky. Any of us, especially the gray-haired older ones amongst us, would give anything to be in your shoes right now. Okay, I'm not kidding. I will tell you why. Okay. At our stage in our careers, the older ones amongst us, it's safe to say, you know, perhaps half our research careers are behind us. Fair enough. You, in contrast, you're at the beginning of your careers. More than half of it, all of your research careers are ahead of you. Think of the possibilities. The possibilities are endless, okay? Those of us who are established scientists, we know what our stories have been. You know, we've done research, we've enjoyed it, we've contributed to many things, we've had fulfilling, rewarding lives, but we know our stories. Your story is unwritten. Your story, nobody knows. You have the steering wheel in your hands at this point in life. How exciting is that? I personally would give anything to be in your chair right now, to be in your shoes right now, at the beginning of so many possibilities in this particular time in our world. Think of where you can take science, think of where you can take careers. And we get to perhaps start you off at this early stage. What a privilege. The privilege is ours. And we are so happy that you folks are here. Despite all of the internet connectivity, all of these issues, you're here. And I hope you're in for a thrilling ride. Okay. Now this thrilling ride, you're going to meet some fantastic physicists. You're going to hear and learn about your discipline. You're also going to have interaction sessions and career sessions and so on. But you know what? It is my hope that you get even more out of this. Then the fantastic physics, then hearing stupendous mentors, then interacting with them, then hearing about their career plans. I hope that you will somehow get a sense of community, a network. I hope you will become a fledgling community of young women scientists in physics, but young women scientists in India. And I hope you will, get from all of the interactions a sense of how women can contribute beyond the actual research they do, beyond the collegial interactions they have. It so happens that I am the first woman to occupy the position of Dean of Graduate Studies at TIFR. And if you look around scientific institutions in the country, women are not present in leadership positions. And it's not just that there are fewer women in science or in the STEM disciplines or in physics in particular. The proportional representation in leadership positions is in fact very, very small. I wonder if it is because we are socialized as a culture to aspire less. I wonder if we give ourselves a negative evaluation before we even get one. I wonder if our sense of community is lacking. These are the things I wonder. And I hope I've planted these thoughts in your mind. And I hope these are the things that you will think about as you have the discussions that are beyond physics and that are in some sense the underpinnings of women in physics, and will hopefully provide an overarching picture of women in physics as you map your careers in the next many, many decades. Welcome.
Thank you, Shubha. We will now have the next talk by Professor Vandana Nanal. Professor Nanal is a professor in the Department of Nuclear and Atomic Physics at TIFR. And she has been one of the co-conveners of Vigyan Vidushi 2020. And she will tell us about the concept of Vigyan Vidushi, how it emerged, and how it reached this day. So I would request Professor Nanal to give her talk. Vandana, please.
Thank you, Amol. Just getting my screen share started. Yeah. A very warm welcome to all of you. I hope you can hear me clearly. So as Amol said, I just want to give you a brief idea of how the concept of Vigyan Vidushi and happened, how we reached this program where we are. So just the idea behind it. Some of the things are already said, but some of you also joined in late, so I may repeat, so pardon me if I do that. So the gender gap in STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is a matter of global concern. Globally, if you look at it, this is all across the world, the female students' enrollment is particularly low in natural science, maths, and statistics at about 5%. And recognizing this as one of the major problems, the United Nations General Assembly in 2016 declared 11th February as International Day of Women and Girls in Science. I say this here because I don't know, some of you may not be aware about it. The reason for doing a special day is A, it creates awareness, and B, it also gives facilitates the redressal mechanisms. And the idea is that if the women are not included in the mainstream, then you actually lose out on significant fraction of resources, almost 50%. While this has been the case universally, in India also, the problem of gender balance in physics, among the sciences in physics, is very acute. Even a very recent survey, which was presented last year, revealed that for the elite research institutes like TIFR and the other DST DAE institutes, the number of girl students at doctorate level is 23%. As actually Professor Shubha already mentioned, that if the number of girls goes down as you go to or number of women goes down as you go to the higher level, and in general, this is a general phenomena called as a leaky pipeline, but in India particularly, as was quoted by Professor Shobhana Narasimhan, that is almost like a waterfall. You have a sudden fall in the number beyond a certain point, and this problem is clearly complex and needs a multi-pronged approach to solve. So Vigyan Vidushi by TIFR is a small but concrete step towards addressing the problem of underrepresentation of women in science in India, and I'll tell you in a minute how. So first, when you want to solve any problem, you need to understand why the problem came. And I quote some of some of the highlights of two recent surveys. So one of them was conducted in 2010 by Indian Academy of Sciences and NIAS in Bangalore. The survey is entitled "The Trained Scientific Woman Power: How Are We Losing and Why?" And it highlighted two major points. The mentoring mechanisms and integrating sessions during workshop and conferences to enhance capabilities of women scientists are important factors in attracting and retaining women in science. The retaining part is also very important. And secondly, honing networking skills is important, and such measures to provide greater opportunities for women scientists needs attention. Similarly, actually, a global survey report in 2012 also revealed that women physicists still do not have equal access to the career advancing resources and opportunities enjoyed by their male colleagues. Now, so these are the problems, and how do we get over it? So to get over this, we have suggested Vigyan Vidushi, which is a unique initiative. This is aimed at providing opportunities to level the playing field as well as increasing awareness. Importantly, this program will enable all the young women research aspirants to interact with women scientists. And this will actually help in breaking the gender stereotype because by and large, the concept is that, women study and they end up being college and university teacher. So this program will showcase the work done by women scientists, bring it to you, you will get to meet them, and you will see that, okay, this is somewhere I can go. And this is where I show this cartoon. Well, I like this to show it for the girls. So it's like you already are here because you're interested in pursuing a career research science, and being you're here, the path is going to be like trekking a difficult mountain, and I'm sure you all will succeed in that. So what our program aims to do is to give advanced training in physics with emphasis on basic concepts and problem solving, give information about opportunities for career in physics research, and also give you a glimpse of challenges to help you prepare to face the same. More importantly, when you see women scientists, you will see they have faced some of the problems, not all, but they have faced some, and they have overcome it. So that should be a good inspiration. So as I also mentioned earlier, so what we thought about how this program is sort of formed along the line of the ACRC school. So it will be an annual program. Initially, we hope to do it for 5 years, a summer school of 3 weeks duration for MSc women students. The reason for choosing the students is you are on the threshold of deciding whether to opt for PhD, pursue career in physics. So we thought that this is a very right time to glimpse trailer dikhate hai, picture baki hai. So there are three main components in the program. We'll give training in advanced physics with emphasis towards research, interactive guidance sessions for research career in physics and gender related challenges, and there will be a small component on introduction to physics education research because that's a niche area of HBCSE. I would talk about this interactive guidance sessions now, and the other two will be covered by the next speaker. But a word about VV 2020 before that. So the Vigyan Vidushi 2020 this year, because of the pandemic situation, has metamorphosed into online courses instead of in person. For this year, we would really love to meet you because seeing is believing, but we hope this online will fill the gap this year, and it will also help us sometime or other to get together. So the broad structure of the program remains the same with a few inevitable adjustments. And also use this opportunity or came in because of the situation arising out of situation to actually increase the participation, both of the participants as well as for the mentors, the women scientists, because now we could, in the online session, we have involved people, some of our former students and postdocs from all over the world, not just from all over India. So there are some of them from participating from outside India. So there was an overwhelming response from various universities across the country as when we solved the application. So it was a very tough job to select 50 participants, and using the online program, we have widened the participation by opening the YouTube channel. And we saw that, so we will have about 50 students in the Zoom classroom and about 300 students following on the YouTube. I am tempted to show this map again, because these are the people participating directly in the Zoom class from all over India. And these are the people from the red and green shows, both coming from the red are the ones watching through the YouTube. So going over to the, now coming to the interactive discussion sessions. This is a very unique because this will, this opportunity you would not get in many other places. So we have two parts again to this. We have two workshops for research career in physics, which will tell you about the opportunities and challenges. So this will tell you how to pursue a PhD, what happens after PhD, what are the kind of job opportunities, how do you go about applications, writing proposals, what does the research comprise, and so on. The two important factors which we have included is discussions about self-confidence. Some of it actually Professor Shubha talked about, that as a society we have a certain biases, so that has influenced, the environment influences us. So some of the things, how we overcome that. And there could also be specific issues which are gender related challenges, which also will be pointed out to you. And obviously there is, but remember, when we say challenges, there is always a ways to get over it. There would be experiences the fellow women physicists will share with you, who are either students or postdocs, and they'll tell you that how they went about. We think this will be very, very useful to you. And even for all of us, we will learn on the way we'll go on. The second part of this interactive session is the group discussions. Here we will, the participants will be divided into multiple groups of 6 to 7 participants each. And we have 2 mentors, 2 senior women scientists holding free discussions with you. We plan to have 3 sessions of 1 hour each. These are just like round table discussions around the virtual table. And then we end with a special lecture series by eminent women scientists. And I'll show you in a minute all about it. So we present to you a wide spectrum of women scientists all across the India, coming from different branches, different age groups, and they will talk about the fantastic works which they have done in different parts. At this point, I'm actually happy that Professor Rohini Godbole has actually joined on the YouTube, and she sent a message, I quote, that this initiative bodes well for TIFR steps in the equity and inclusion program. Thank you, Rohini, and we really look forward to your lecture also and participation in the program. Many people from, including Dean NSF TIFR, have applauded the program. I want to tell you that the purpose of these special lectures is to emphasize to you that where these people have reached, and actually not just aspire you to reach there, but I'm sure another decade down the line, some of you would be on such a list. If we put it, I only hope that by another 10, 15 years, we would have achieved gender equity and we would not need a special school. But some of you should be coming in on this slide of eminent women scientists. And I'm tempted to say one more line here, is rather on a personal note, because Professor Subramaniam showed the beginning of the Homi Bhabha Science Center. There was this building in Nana Chowk where it started. And I actually was fortunate enough to start to participate in some of the orientation sessions here and to be taught about quantum mechanics by Professor Arvind Kumar, whom you actually may have an opportunity to meet here. So I just want to tell you that this the journey which I'm predicting for you is not just a dream, it's actually a reality for many of us in some ways. So that's about more or less what I wanted to say about the Vigyan Vidushi program. And before I end, I would like to pay, today being this 75th Foundation Day of TIFR and the inauguration of Vigyan Vidushi, a very special occasion, I would like to pay a tribute to the TIFR's first woman scientist, Dr. Bibha Chowdhury. She worked at TIFR 1949 to 53. She was actually joined in the Cloud Chamber group. She headed the Cloud Chamber group and worked on the extensive air showers. She actually had got a PhD in Manchester under Professor Blackett. And prior to that, she has done a very significant contribution toward the discovery of mesons using photographic plates. Some of you may have heard recently a star was named after her in the last year. So, and she's not only the first woman scientist at TIFR, she is the first Indian woman in the field of energy physics. So I thought on this note, I will stop here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Vandana, for that inspiring talk and telling us about how it all started. Sometimes one wonders why we did not start it many, many years ago. Now that we have started, let me invite Professor Anvesh Muzumdar to give us an idea of what is in store of us, well, mainly for the students, over the course of the next 3 weeks. So Anvesh, you can start sharing your screen, please. Thanks.
Hello, yeah. Hello and welcome everybody. I hope I'm audible and I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, so welcome all the student participants to the Vigyan Vidushi 2020. And the previous speakers have already laid an outline of what was the motivation behind this program and given you some glimpses of what is in store for the next 3 weeks. What I would like to do here is to go into a little bit of detail of that to give you an overview. So when we planned this, we were guided by several principles, and I would like to explain a little bit about that. So the primary aim of this whole program is to equip women students better for open competition, and that is both on academic as well as other fronts. So we decided to divide the time available between training in content matter of physics as well as mentoring sessions. So Professor Nanal has already given a detailed overview of the mentoring sessions. So I will be concentrating more on the subject matter, the courses in the core physics area. So of course, I mean, as we know, I mean, the 3 weeks is hardly enough time for covering a lot in physics, and it's vast. I mean, you have previously done your BSc in physics, and now you're in MSc, and you can realize that even 5 years is perhaps not enough to cover all the topics in physics. So what we tried to do was to strike a balance between some core topics in physics, which are necessary for doing physics in today's world, and also some specialized areas of research, some advanced areas which typically would appear as special papers in typical university curricula, where I mean, some students take some of them and other students take some others. And here we try to give you an overview of some of these special topics. So we have so we have basically two long courses on quantum mechanics and statistical mechanics, and we also have some short courses on special topics like astrophysics, condensed matter, nuclear and particle physics. Of course, when we first conceptualized this program, we had a big component of experimental physics, where the idea was that students should actually do some experiments in some physics labs, and also have the opportunity to visit some of the research labs in TIFR. However, unfortunately, the present situation does not permit that. So we cannot invite you here to be physically present and have the lab experience. However, we still thought that it is such an important area of physics, and that physics is after all an experimental science, that we should not leave that out completely. So what we tried to do here is to have a few lectures on the general techniques of the analysis of experimental data and things like that, and also an orientation towards what is experimental research today. And lastly, there's also a component of physics education research. This is something that is a niche area unique to the Homi Bhabha Center, which is a part of TIFR. And this is not usually covered in the usual university curriculum. So we have kept a few sessions in the evenings to give you an orientation of what is physics education research, how do we do it, and what it entails. So these are the main ideas. And so the outline is like this. So we have 5 main courses, and these are quantum mechanics for 20 hours. We have statistical mechanics and condensed matter together for 20 hours. We have introduction to astrophysics for 10 hours, introduction to nuclear and particle physics for 9 hours, and experimental techniques for 6 hours. So these are the 5 main physics courses. Apart from that, as you have already heard, we have some special lectures by 7 eminent women scientists, which Professor Nanal has already mentioned. In the evening, we have 4 sessions on physics education. Professor Nanal has also told you about the career discussion and the mentoring workshops, which I think is another very unique feature of this program, because usually summer schools do not have much of this, but this is, of course, a very important part of Vigyan Vidushi. And apart from that, there are, of course, some free evenings where you can all interact, because we thought that if it were actually a physically happening workshop, then you'd have some free time in the evenings where you can get to know each other and talk and chat about anything in your lives. But unfortunately, it is not possible in this form. So what we are trying to do is to provide you a platform, an online platform, just like the regular classrooms, where you can come and go and mingle with your friends and have some peer discussion. And it's a very informal setting, that and we are just providing the platform. That is the idea. Okay, so basically each of these 5 courses have lectures interspersed with tutorials. On average, 2:1 ratio, and double the number of lectures than tutorial. This is on average. And we have the lecture sessions of 1 hour each. These are the online slots, and out of which typically 45 minutes will be the actual lecture, and we will leave 15 minutes for question and answer, maybe at the end or maybe in between in some breaks. And additionally, we will have 10 minutes for write-in questions. Even after the session has ended, students will be able to write in questions, which the instructor will look at and perhaps address in the next session. For the tutorials, what we decided to do was to divide the class into 2 sections of roughly 25 students, so that we can pay more individual attention there. So these tutorials will be run in parallel. The content of the tutorials are exactly the same for the two. The tutors will also be the same, just that they will be either in different time slots or run in 2 parallel online classrooms. The career discussion and the mentoring sessions that was mentioned earlier will also be in smaller groups in the evening. And we have provided an online platform. Most of you have already logged into it and have been exploring things there, where we are providing the lecture notes, tutorials, and any other material and all information related to the Vigyan Vidushi 2020. So time-wise, the main courses and the special lectures will be held in 4 regular 1-hour slots during the day, from Monday to Saturday. So 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. These are fixed time 1-hour slots. And the other activities of mentoring, the physics education research, and informal interaction, these will be in the evening sessions, which will be from 6 p.m. onwards. It's a more open-ended thing, so you can come at your leisure sometimes. The participation in Vigyan Vidushi has been really, very encouraging, I must say. Professor Dighe had already shown you the map of India, so we received a large number of applications. However, we could not invite everybody for logistical reasons, so we have 51 students in this online classroom who will be active participants. And there's another 300 plus applicants who are invited to attend the lectures on live stream. Right now, many of them are watching this program on live stream. So I extend my welcome also to those students to this program who are joining us even remotely. In among the all 5 courses, we have 8 instructors and 18 tutors for these main courses. You can see the gender ratio in that. We have 17 women scientists and 9 male scientists as instructors and tutors. Most of our resource persons are either currently associated with TIFR and HBCSE, or have been previously associated as students, postdocs, faculty, etc. In the career discussion and mentoring workshops, we have 23 women resource persons. Many of them are the resource persons for the other courses, but we also have external resource persons joining from other institutes in India, other scientific organizations in India, where we have invited them and they have very kindly agreed to join us and help us. So welcome to all of them. This whole program, of course, is monitored by a 14-member academic committee and supported by a 3-member technical committee. I will just give you a brief idea of that. So the academic committee has members from the TIFR main campus, the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, and the National Center for Radioastrophysics. The major responsibilities of the academic committee has been the overall design of the academic program, to structure it, as well as the mentoring sessions. They have been instrumental in the selection of the participants, and almost all of them are playing leading role in different courses and mentoring sessions. Some are even special lecturers. So that is, and these are the 14 people who are behind this entire program. Now, we also, of course, this year, due to the current situation, we have an enormous challenge to convert this to a fully online program, because originally this was not conceptualized like that. And especially so in the midst of lockdown, where we are all working from home, we do not have all the resources at hand. But this has been very ably done, I must say, and I must thank the technical committee, which has members from the TIFR main campus and the Homi Bhabha Center, so that we could do all the organizational interactions and the decision making online. We have online platforms for this classroom as we have now, and also for the course material dissemination, which you have all logged in and have access to. And prior to today, in the last week, we had orientation and training of every participant, of all the students, all the instructors, all the tutors, so that we can have a smooth experience here and we are not hampered by the present virtual nature of this. So with that, I end my presentation, and once more, welcome to all of you. And I hope that the next 3 weeks will be enjoyable for all of us. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anvesh. So that brings us to almost to the end of this inaugural session. However, I would like to give an idea of what is going to come next. The first is this website on top, which is called vv2020online.html on the TIFR University website. You could go there and you will get all the updated information, because many things are even being set up as we are doing. Although there are many lectures and tutorials, some of the sessions are going to be public events, public lectures, and for which everybody, even those who are not physics students or even not physicists, are welcome to join. These are going to be special lectures by very successful women scientists. In fact, most of them, I guess, are physicists in India. The first lecture that I would like to encourage you and welcome you to come today is going to be by Professor Poonam Chandra from NCRA, National Center for Radio Astrophysics in TIFR. And she's going to talk about exploding stars. So it's perhaps might be a very exploding session. So please join us on the same YouTube channel that you are joining now, if you're joining from YouTube. And later on, there'll be lectures by Professor Shobna Narsihan, Prerna Sharma, Aditi Sende, Bimla Bhuti, Rohini Godbole, and Kajiri Mujumdar, about which Professor Vandana Nanar just talked to you some time back. I would also like to mention that we will have interaction sessions, informal interaction sessions in the evening, sometimes with the 51 participants. We are sorry we can't involve everybody in interaction session because that defeats the purpose. However, tomorrow's interaction special session is crucial, mainly for the fact that we will have two of the deans of TIFR, who are women, joining us to talk to the students. One is, of course, Professor Shiva Tole, from whom you have already heard and you are familiar with. Other is Professor Subra Chunawala, who is the Dean of the Homeopathy Center for Science Education. And both of them will be communicating with you in an informal manner today evening. For the students, therefore, your next task is the lectures, which start at 11 o'clock today. For everybody else, you are most welcome to our next public session, which is at 4:30 p.m. on the YouTube channel, whose link you will find up here. Or of course, if you're already on YouTube, it is exactly the same link. So I thank you all for coming here. I thank all the academic committee members, not technical committee members, who are actually making this possible. And I also thank Professor Sandeep Trivedi, Professor K. Subramanian, and Professor Shiva Tole for coming and telling us their inspiring words. Welcome again for all the students. In case I haven't specifically said welcome to you, we will keep on interacting over the next 3 weeks. And I think that this experience is going to be mutually beneficial as well as enjoyable for all of us concerned. So with that, I thank everybody for joining, and we will break now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amol, and everyone.
Yeah, so the session will now end.